Thank you, sweetheart.
What's up, Psychonauts? Welcome back to another episode. Today I have beautiful humans, Niko and Karina Pilgin. They live in Costa Rica and their company is Plug-in Mind. And I met them while I was living there, and their company and what they do and the facilitation that they're holding and offering has just flourished in this beautiful, beautiful way. And I've gotten to watch them via the internet since I left Costa Rica. And I am so excited to share what they're doing now. Welcome to the podcast, Niko and Karina.
Yay,
Good to see you, Jess.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, so while we were just getting in there, so describe to people, what is Plug-in Mind? What are you guys offering? Because I know, but I want everybody to know. So please share the beautiful gifts that you are bringing to the world right now.
Me?
This is going on YouTube, so that's perfect.
I guess we know who wears pants in this. But yeah, well, who we are and what we are, really, I would say spiritual midwives is the name that was graciously gifted to us by the people we work with. And I think we really resonate with that because the process of our work is called the Grand Rebirth. And the reason why it is because we help people to be reborn into the best version of them. That's why I think spiritual midwives works quite well, and we really, really enjoy it. So what we do now mostly is we hold retreats, week-long retreats, where we start working with the person by speaking to them via on the phone or video messages, and getting to know each other, and sort of a screening process if we're a fit, if we're a match. And we get to know the person, the reason behind why they want to do the work that they want to do with us. And then what happens is, if we're a match, we invite them to come here to Costa Rica. They buy a plane ticket. We meet them at the airport, and we deliver them here to a beautiful retreat center that we work with here in Carrillo, up in the mountains, where they get to stay with us for a week. And we work through all the processes that we have of deep consultations and understanding, for them mostly understanding the root cause of why we are gathered together. And then we dive into the breath work and the power of breath, relaxing the body. You're a big fan of it, so you know. We do the ice bath, where we face our egos and deal with discomfort, and teaching our mind and our body to relax into it. And as you know, cold water is not only very good for your body, your nervous system, it's really a very strong ally for the mind. And working with the mind, when it starts, oh, I can never do this, I can never get into an ice bath, and then the person comes out and they happen to sit there for like 3 to 5 minutes, and you know how it is, and the cold water time stops, right? And they're like 30 seconds, and you're like, well, actually it's been 3.5 minutes. And it blows the mind, because you're like, well, if I can do this, what else can I do? Where else am I telling myself I'm not capable of something, when in fact you are, and more than you can imagine? So we do that, and then we move into the Kambo, which is a beautiful medicine, and I love it dearly. I feel like oftentimes it's painted in a bit of a darker colors, and people are like, I'm afraid I'm gonna die. But no, it's such a beautiful medicine to, again, clear the body, clear the mind, clear your energy. And the way we work with Kambo is very gentle. We take it, one step at a time. We don't overwhelm a person with a large amount of medicine right away. And one of the key components of what we do is giving the power back to the person of making decisions and telling us we're ready for the next step. So it has to be their choice, because everything is about choice. And you have to make the choice of liberating yourself, or facing yourself, facing your fears. And that's what we focus on. So we do that for 3 days. We also get people to fast for 3 days with coconut water, which is, again, I cannot do this. I've never done it. And then by day 3, they're like, oh, actually, I'm surprised how well I feel. And, I could go on for another day or 2. And it's quite amazing. And following that, we start working with the toad, with Buffo berries, which is just magical medicine, molecule of God, pure consciousness, pure love. And that's when we get to let go of the limiting beliefs of insecurities, anxieties, fear, old stories that are holding us back, and to be literally reborn into the new version of yourself, the 2.0 version of yourself.
Yeah.
And following that, we do a lot of integration, which we find is crucial in medicine, because, doing medicine is one thing, sitting with medicine, but when you opened up your mind and you received all this wisdom, all these downloads, all these memories, realizations, and you don't have a proper support to integrate all of that into your life, to understand it, to feel it, to let it pass through you and out the door, or the opposite of really embracing what you've learned and making it your daily routine, when, things can go a little south. So that's why we focus on integration a lot. And we work with people, we put together plans for them to take away home, to make sure that they have a concrete plan of this not being just a trip, but actually being a life-changing experience. And then we follow up with them as they go back home, and we make sure that we have a few calls with them, following up and making sure and guiding them and coaching them. And apart from that, during our retreats, we work with yoga and we work with breath work, with Ayurvedic breath work. We offer a couple of amazing massages to our clients. We have a mediumship reading with a beautiful medium that helped us a lot in being where we are. And there's just so much that we like to offer. We don't like to overwhelm people. They have the downtime to integrate, to journal, to be with themselves. Healthy food, fruits, juices, the sun, and this beautiful energy, very healing energy of this land. And that's pretty much what we do now.
But we do it with love.
We sure do.
Which is so important, the conduit of the facilitators, right? What energy are you bringing in is so important. And I love that you guys are bringing in the integration piece, because how many ayahuasca ceremonies have you gone to where it's like, okay, go live your life now? And it's just like, what? What?
Do with this now.
Yeah, because it's a big shift and it's a big transformation, especially when you're working with these medicines. Like, you see things, you feel things that are out of this world, and then you experience them and you're like, okay, now what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that actually is the most important part of the whole journey. The medicine is half of the work. And then what do you do afterwards? There have to be some concrete changes made in everyone's life for the person going through the experience. Going back to basics. Okay, what am I doing the first thing in the morning? How am I taking care of my body, my physical body? I have a vessel to navigate the world. It should be in tip-top shape, the best of my power. Okay, what does it look like? Maybe it's just stretching the muscles before you offer yourself to the world. And then there are all these practices that we share with people that allow them to really, using the power of discipline, to structure their life in any way they desire. Because the limit is our imagination. What I believe I'm worthy of, and how do I want to carry myself in my life going forward. So if we skip that step, it was a memory, it was an experience, it was something that happened, it was amazing, it was great. but I haven't taken out all the juicy bits and I haven't integrated them. That's why this particular part is very important for us.
Yeah,
So it took me quite a few years to realize that discipline equals self-love. And this is not the most popular topic because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. But when we do commit to ourselves, it becomes second nature. And discipline is what gets us places. You know, if you're disciplined, you're going to be successful in so many areas of your life. Whether you start something and then you drop it, you start something and then you drop it, and it doesn't give results. So that's why discipline is something that we really put a lot of emphasis on for people. It doesn't have to be huge, but it has to be consistent. It has to help you, and it has to be, you know, may it be a few minutes, but it's a few minutes every day until the day you die.
For you.
Yeah.
For you. And that is a complete game changer.
Consistency.
Yeah, the other part is too boundaries. What am I not? That I have to say no to, and saying no is very tough for many people because we are rejecting something an offer that's coming to us. But if I'm accepting the offer over lesser value of what the alternative may be, who am I fooling? So at the end of the day, you have to check back with your intuition and see what is the best choice of action for me without hurting everyone else, of course. But first, it has to start with me and then go out to other people. Otherwise, the chain is broken, the energetic chain of what needs to happen. So who suffers? It's always us at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I love all of that so much. So I'm going to hop into, because you guys were the first ones who introduced me to this medicine, was Sananga and Hàpe. And I have not talked about those on the podcast yet. So I would love to dive into those, the benefits of them, how you guys came across them, and do you implement them in the week retreat that you do?
The Sananga, definitely. Actually, a little story about Sananga. It's well, first of all, it's a root of a plant from the Amazon, and the natives are using this plant, have been using this plant to improve their vision at night while hunting at night. And I have actually been wearing glasses for 16 years, and then for the past 3 years, I have completely left them behind. And what happened is that my vision has improved, I would say about 90%. It's still not perfect, but the resolution of what I can see, including at night, which was very difficult because driving was a little bit difficult in the beginning, is amazing. So it's a combination of stressing and relaxing the eyes. Sananga is not a pleasant medicine, but
it's
spicy. But it forces our muscles to contract and then relax after a while. So the trick is learning to relax in a very deep way. And Sananga provides that opportunity for us. So with some exercises, looking at the sun, which is quite an interesting endeavor, which I have also tried. And if you try to research that, you will find a lot of evidence against it. That will damage the back of your eye, you won't be able to see. Well, the exact opposite is happening, which is so amazing. So a combination of sunning and combination of eye exercises and Sananga can restore your eyesight to start.
And Sananga is also, well, it decalcifies our pineal gland. So it helps us to see energy better. And there are so many benefits to short-sightedness, farsightedness, cataract, astigmatism, dry eye. And the beauty of this medicine is the results, you can feel them almost instantaneously. We've had quite a few clients with dry eye that suffered for years. And after 2-3 applications, they look at us with big eyes and they're like, I don't have that condition anymore. And it's just, again, it's beautiful. And yes, it puts you through discomfort, definitely. As most medicines, really, we don't take medicine to have a good time.
Don't we?
No. we take it to heal. Oh yeah, I guess it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But yes, Sananga is a beautiful medicine. I'm a big fan. Never thought I would say that, but willingly put that medicine in my eyes by myself, and it's great. With Hàpe, I think we've kind of moved away from it.
Okay.
For the most part, we do take it in ceremonies when we say indulge in ayahuasca ceremonies, and it's part of their tradition to serve Hàpe. I love this medicine because it's very grounding. Some are very uplifting and put you in a meditative state. And it's, even the process of making all these medicines is an art and magic on its own.
Yeah.
But we don't use Hàpe for a number of reasons. Why? Like, one, we try to cleanse the body of all, say, addictive substances, and as one
tobacco,
it can be addictive, and that's why we want to make sure that the people that we work with, when they leave, they do not want to indulge in anything that keeps them. And some people do use it, and those who have a relationship with that, they know what they're doing, and that's great. But we don't advertise for it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, because when we were doing it, when I was introduced to it with you guys, it was an ice bath, Sananga, and Hàpe as an option. The Kambo and the Buffo were not a part of that option. So then I was like, what is all this stuff that they have? What are these things? And then Niko, actually, when I'm sitting in ceremony and telling people about Sananga, you're the example that I bring up often, because I'm like, yeah, like it'll help clear your eyesight if you continue to use it, because it was 90 days straight that you did it, right? Yeah. And people are like, I don't know, because it's spicy.
Yeah, it is. And it's not easy, but it's not the issue of easy or difficult. Will it help? And the bottom line, does help, if you really want it. And second thing is, back to that relaxation. It does force you to relax, because now you have a delta between the intense state of discomfort to a very relaxed state. And that delta is what's really important. So we get to feel what it is and what it could be, tapping into that state of maximal relaxation, which then teaches us and opens the new frontiers as to what it could be, which is exactly the point in my mind. It's that delta between any medicine. I had this amount of toxins and now I don't. I thought that the reality is what I see through my eyes, but then the delta of it may be completely different. And it's important to experience that, to start challenging our existing beliefs of what I think is true. Most basic things, biology, history, and it just goes on and on, the nature of reality. And it will surprise many people because it's not what they think. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing to stumble upon, because I believe we want to get to the truth. What is the purpose of our existence? What here? And fortunately, we have a way to dissolve the ego so that we get to feel, not intellectually conceptualize, but to actually feel who we truly are. And that's such a gift.
Indeed.
So beautiful. Okay, so let's hop back into the Kambo Buffo, because like before we hopped on, I was telling you guys, like I've met a few Kambo facilitators now, and I have yet to meet anybody else that is doing like a Kambo Buffo combo. So I'd love to talk about like the process of it, what comes up with Kambo, tell people how you use it, and then why you bring in the Buffo after. Let's like dive deep. If you're open.
Maybe we'll start backwards.
Okay.
Buffo is the goal. for
Mm.
me. This cherry on top of all the experiences we've had. And to appreciate and to carry out all the downloads, all the realizations back into the life, we first have to prepare the vessel. So we have to clean out the body, clean out the mind, past traumas, energetic blocks, limiting beliefs. And when a person is very motivated and disciplined, that may not be as necessary. But for the most part, we need to clean out the bodies because of the foods we eat and the liquids we consume and God knows what else. So Kambo acts as a cleaning adventure for all the aspects of ourselves. When we've fully cleaned and fully relaxed and we've experienced the state of discomfort and not being in control, because in Kambo, it's not a psychedelic. It is actually a medicine that allows us to clean the lymphatic system very thoroughly, as well as digestive system and everything else. So cleaning first and then expansion afterwards.
And I love how Niko actually speaks about Kambo. He says, look at it as an oil change on your body. Because the liquids in the lymphatic system, we don't really flush them many times in our lives. So it may be really the first time. And Kambo is such a beautiful medicine for so many different physical, mental, emotional illnesses. We've had clients with vertigo that have stopped feeling the effects after Kambo. We've had a girl with chronic candidosis, I think it's called. She was off the charts for years. And after thorough work with Kambo, she went back to the doctor in the States, and the doctor was like, what did you do? Like, everything's, you know, and obviously it's not only the magic of Kambo, there is, you know, how you eat and what, you know, what you consume and how you live your life, because all of that attributes, you know, things that go into our body. We collect medicines that we take, or like meaning pharmaceutical medicines and stuff like that. All of that accumulates in our body. Suppressed emotions, all of that sits within us. And when we work with Kambo, we get to let go of that. We get to let go of so many things. It helps with fertility. It helps with Parkinson's. It helps with, like, there is almost like limitless, endless list of benefits of Kambo. And yes, it is uncomfortable, but again, the way we work with this medicine is slowly and gradually, because yes, it is uncomfortable. It is like having a flu and a stomach bug at the same time. But if you think about it, that it's really 15-20 minutes of that discomfort, and then you're feeling like someone took 1,000 little brushes and cleansed every organ on the inside, like the energy level, the, you know, the feeling of almost blissfulness is what you feel. And that also teaches you how resilient you are, that you can handle so much more than you thought initially. And then when we go back to Buffo, which is, as Niko said, a cherry on top, all that hard work that we do with facing our fears in the ice bath, with feeling discomfort with Kambo, with Sananga in our eyes, we get to come to this world of pure love and beauty. And it's not always right away to love and beauty. Sometimes we need to, you know, see some obstacles on the way and work through them. And it's part of our healing process. That's why we do it, because when we hold, you know, all that within us and we start excavating all of those things out, sometimes we can just let it go and go straight to pure love. But sometimes we need to face and address our old wounds, you know, in consciousness and presence, and then get to that pure love and acceptance of who we are, without insecurities, without the old programs, whatever it can be. And obviously people that come to do this work, in smaller percentage, it's seekers who are interested in, you know, what else is there? Like, what else can I see, can I feel, explore? Mostly it's people that have gone through many traumas in their lives, and they've tried talk therapy, they've tried pharmaceutical drugs, tried so many different ways of healing, but they understand that they need to go beyond. And that's when, you know, it can be sexual trauma as children, as adults, it can be abuse, it can be being part of cults as, you know, being younger. It is, you know, not having relationships with your families, different illnesses, again, because as we know, most, especially chronic illnesses that we experience in our lives is a combination of stress, suppressed emotions, food, and lifestyle, right? So when we get to address all those things and let go, and again, making a choice, a true choice for yourself to let go, that's when we get to that liberation point. And you know that all you need is a glimpse of what else is there to completely change how you look at things, who you are. And, you know, and I also love the analogy that Niko has with hot potatoes, because when we're small and, you know, when we're inferior and somebody gives us the hot potato, we're like, well, you know better, so I'll take it and I'll carry it with me because, you know, you're the adult or you're the peer. And then we carry all those things all our lives until we get to this point where we're like, wait a second.
I said no that time, but I didn't. Why didn't I say no?
Exactly. But you get that opportunity to drop it and to say no more. You know, as an example, when I was in 1st or 2nd grade, my music teacher told me, Karina, don't sing. Open your mouth, don't sing. You sound horrible. And obviously she was no Celine Dion because she was a music teacher at a high school.
Yeah.
Don't generalize.
I'm assuming. And, but I believed her. And for most of my adult life, for, you know, 30 plus years, I was absolutely convinced that I cannot sing, that it's unavoidable. Until in one of the ceremonies, I just allowed. And I remember Niko's face looking at me, and I'm like, judging by his face, it doesn't only sound good in my head. That I took on a hot potato and I carried it for so long, and now I get to let go. And this is a small example of what can be undone in these ceremonies, in these sacred ceremonies.
Yeah, years worth of therapy done. Like, yeah, we're not doctors. We do not give medical advice. This is just our own opinions from our own experiences. There is a disclaimer at the beginning of the podcast, and here's just a little extra. Yeah, that's a beautiful reference, and I love that so much. So I would love to talk to you about like the importance of finding the right facilitators, because unfortunately, in this realm of work that we do, there are people out there who don't do the medicine or have done the medicine once or twice, and then they hop in and start facilitating. So I'd love to talk to you guys about the importance of finding the facilitators and like what to look for when you are finding facilitators. Because I know both of your stories, so I'm like, yep, I would go to them for sure.
Yeah, you know, Jess, I think the most important part in doing this work, it's not even the medicines that we use. I think it goes deeper into what is the level of vibration that we're carrying and presenting to the world. That is primary. And to cultivate that, we really have to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And I believe that most important thing I can do for people that we see is, again, start with myself and have a disciplined routine that I engage in on a regular basis. For me, it's every day, where when fears arise, I'm able to process them, face them, and process them right away. And to me, facing my ego on a daily basis and checking with it is most important, because if I let it take a little bit more of what it deserves, I have lost control. So every day it's important to put that big green check mark next to who wins the day today. Is it Niko or is it the ego? So if it's ego, I have lost the battle for the rest of the day. But if it's Niko, then I'm reasserting my dominance over whatever's happening here, whatever that monkey mind is saying. I'm able to say, no, for today, I'm the winner. So for the rest of the day, I'm going to be, I have given to myself in the morning, and then I can share that love. It's almost like imagining a cup of water, which is love. And then it's my job to put the love into the cup. And when it's overflowing, I have so much excess that is free to share. If no one takes it, it goes down into the ground. But if I have so much that I have created, haven't manipulated another person into giving me that love, I have actually generated that love because we all receive it. So when I'm in a situation where I can share that, I believe there is no energetic component that is involved here where I need something back from that person. And starting with yourself is number one. So I believe every facilitator should first and foremost check with themselves and see if they're doing their work before offering the medicine to anyone, because that is such an important part. And I don't think a lot of people talk about it or even are aware that the energy, the quality, the discipline, the dedication of practitioners plays a role, and it actually plays a big role.
100%. And if I may add, I feel what needs to happen is, first of all, if the practitioners walk the walk and talk the talk, and integrity of people that you work with. Why are they doing this? You know, to what we do is, it's our life. This is our mission, we feel, and this is where all our energy goes, because we love what we do. And I think that's another important part. The person that is facilitating medicine for you has to love what they do and do it for the right reasons. And having the person's interests at heart, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's very easy in facilitation of medicine to get in a bit of an ego trap. Because, you know, when we work with people and then we get so much gratitude and love from them, you know, and they say, you know, you're Jesus and Mother Mary, it's easier to let that get to your head and be like, oh yeah, I am this. And I think humility is another thing, because every time that happens, we always say, what you see in us is a reflection of you. We don't exist. We're just mirrors. We're just here to hold space for you to do the healing for yourself. We will guide you. So important. It's important to be humble, to be of high integrity, to love what you do, and safety and training and understanding what you do and how to work with contraindication medication that people might be on, because obviously there are some contraindication between Buffo and some antidepressants and you know, different illnesses that people have, and how these facilitators are able to serve you in a way that is effective but yet very safe for you. That is also very important, in my opinion. Am I missing anything?
Doing great.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I agree with so much of that, because there are people who like, oh, I've done mushrooms like a couple of times, so now I'm going to go sit with people, and like not knowing like there is that, what are the prescriptions you're on? Like, have you had any injuries? Like, what's going on in your life right now that could potentially be a huge struggle within this ceremony. So finding the right
the mental state, which I've completely forgot to mention, the mental state of the person.
Yeah.
Because it's really important. And that's why we don't work with just anyone. And sometimes we need to turn people down because we understand that it could be not safe for them. It could be not safe for us. It could, you know, more damage them than help them. And as much as we want to help every single person, it's just not fair. And sometimes we have to say no for one or another reason.
Definitely. So what brought the two of you to doing this beautiful work?
Where do we start? Oh man,
Would you like to go, or would you like me to?
it depends how deep, how far back we go.
Well, first, I think we've done this before, like before coming into these bodies. When, you know, the first ceremony we hosted together, we never really had to speak to each other. We just knew what each one of us is doing and what our roles, as if we've done this many, many times before. And I think that, you know, and I think it was confirmed to us by many of our clients that have gone places and came back and they're like, oh, you've done this like many times before. And really when, you know, when COVID happened, we understood that staying in Canada was not an option for ourselves, you know, for the sake of our family. And we've decided to make a bold move and trust the universe and just dive off the cliff. And we did, and we arrived to Costa Rica. And soon enough, we found ourselves surrounded by a spiritual community and all these talks about ayahuasca and you know, and medicines. And I know that Niko was always a seeker, and he was always interested in that, where I actually had a lot of fears about it because of all the information on the internet, right? So he chose to go, and when he came back, I realized I gotta go. I gotta go experience what is this ayahuasca is all about. And from there, it just happened that we got deeper and deeper into the realm of medicine, and found Buffo. I went to participate in a ceremony, and I knew right away I have to bring Niko to it, and so I did. And I think he realized pretty quickly that this is what he really should be doing in life, and this is his mission. And you know, and that's when it all started and snowballed, and here we are, you know, 3 years later, facilitating amazing retreats. We're able to help hundreds of people, and through them, obviously, we always heal, because with each person you heal yourself. With each person you know, you learn and you evolve and expand, and this is beautiful. And I'm just so grateful that we had this opportunity to end up here today.
And thinking back to that first ceremony, I remember it perfectly, and I remember the totality of knowing of everything. Every single fear, doubt, joyous emotion came to a single point and then exploded. And I realized that I have transcended fear of death, because when we go into that direction and the ego presents fear as something beyond which we have no idea what will happen. And once you go through that imaginary veil, you realize that there was no veil to start with. It was just a mind trick of the ego to keep us safe. Why do you want to find the veil? What's there? It's safe here. Look, everything's great. You got food. You have a bed to sleep in. Look, you have your addictions, but that's okay. You know, we're keeping you safe. Or I'm keeping you safe, the ego. But once you get through that and realize that, wow, this experience on Earth is just a temporary blip in terms of time. Not that time exists, but it's just so short that we have to make the most of it, regardless if there is reincarnation or not. Maybe this is the only chance we have. So lose this opportunity to help expand and help make the world a better place. It sounds pretty cliche, but at the end of the day, by raising your vibration, we can help other people ditch all the programs that they have been held by over the years. Lack of self-worth, not being good enough, able to succeed, fear of failure, fear of success, prior experiences and all that baggage that people carry, we can make a choice to drop that suitcase without a handle and mail every single piece of clothing and all the souvenirs back to where they came from. Because chances are they're not ours. Why are we spending energy carrying something that we don't even want? We were told when we were 7 that this is who I am. I can't sing, or I can't play music, or I'm not pretty enough or skinny enough, whatever. All those programs can be wiped clean so that you can fully tune in into your intuition and decide, this is how my life is going to be. I do not take suggestions from anyone outside of myself. It's good for me. And if it's not good for other people, then we can examine relationships of, well, why do they want me to give my energy to them? Maybe it's an unequal exchange and it's not in my favor. All of a sudden you find that certain people are just disappearing from your life. And that's a great thing. We were walking this path together for a bit of time, and now we just go in different directions, and you preserve the energy that you can reinvest into you, into your heart, and open up new doors. You know, wonderful thing. It's just so exciting that we have the opportunity and the feeling behind what it means to be liberated from the veil of the mind. It is such an illusion. It's beyond words. We shouldn't fear it, but that's how we're set up, and we have accepted certain programs of how our bodies run, and the mind is a necessary instrument to keep the body alive. So these are the rules of the game, but it's just a game.
I love all of that so much. I'm like, yep, the Matrix. Like, don't get stuck in it. It's a trap. So do you both care to share what your first plant medicine ceremonies were?
Yeah.
It started with Yahe, the Colombian tradition of ayahuasca. And I went first because I was always interested in.
He's the guinea pig.
It's important to go for Yahe for a number of nights. I would say 2 nights, not just the one experience, because my personal experience, I didn't understand what was this all about. I didn't see any visions.
The first night.
I was purging and I was on the toilet, and it was just suffering and resistance on my part. And I thought, oh no, something's off. But everyone else is experiencing these wonderful things. So I thought I didn't want to go for the second night, because I planned to go for 2, but then I thought, no, 1 is enough. I'm not doing it again. And everyone else is, well, the shamans are saying that the first night is bitter and the second night is sweet. So you have to get to the sweet one. Okay, I'll trust you. And then it was very special. I have gotten to the deepest fears, into a realm that I don't want to describe in detail, but what that allowed me to do is to face my deepest fear and survive it, and come out realizing, wow, what an elaborate illusion. Wow, what a gift to be here on this planet in these bodies. And then I can start making choices of how I'm going to live my life. So it was pretty big. There's a lot of detail there, but if anyone is thinking about expanding their mind and really getting outside of the box, the box of whatever, the box of our mind, really, I highly recommend it, because it will definitely change that person's life for the better. I'm not saying that it will not be easy, or it will be easy. It will be maybe not easy, because so much has to be reframed, sloughed off, forgotten, reworked. The relationship with you, it's a big undertaking, but think of the best project that we will ever manage. It's not the business. It's not, the relationship with my mother, although it's very important, but it's the project called Niko, project called Jim, project called Karina. I'm the CEO. I am the driver. I have to fire people. I have to hire people. I set food on the table. I clean the rooms. I do absolutely everything. So how can I maximize my net positive effect? How can I get, the best result? Well, I have to make every single decision. So now we have to make decisions. We can't outsource it to anyone else. Well, my partner is doing this for me. Oh, it's good. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky. But we have to take full ownership and responsibility, and that comes with a wonderful, wonderful result. You will be fully self-sufficient, and you will be free from false beliefs. How amazing is that? We're collectively raising the vibration and going to a place where we take full ownership of who we are. We're not listening to whoever is telling us how we should live our lives, what we should wear on our face, on our body, what we should have in our bodies. It's our choice.
Yeah.
And I will make that choice. I will not listen. I will evaluate the data. If I'm unsatisfied, I'm a sovereign being.
Yeah.
I make the choice. And that's a wonderful thing. The power of choice you get to reclaim. Poof.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I feel like these beautiful medicines that we have available to us right now help us with exactly that. As you said, it's years of therapy. One of said a very interesting thing. She said that you can do therapy, talk therapy, this therapy, another, and it almost like stopping on the side of the road in your vehicle, opening up a road map and looking where you're going, putting it together, and then when you took the wrong turn, you stopped, and then there is plant medicine, which essentially a GPS that takes you directly
right where you need to go.
And that's what I really love. My first experience was also Yahe. After Niko came back, literally 5 days later, I've made a choice to go. And I remember when people were saying, "Oh, medicine called me." Like, I was always very skeptical. I'm like, "How? On the phone? Hi, I'm ayahuasca. Come drink me." Like, what is this? And
It's true.
When I made the choice, it was literally like a red carpet. Like, she just aligned everything that I end up at the ceremony, like within hours. Like, okay, I guess I'm meant to go, if that's how easy it is. And I went, and I was very scared. I won't lie. Like, my ego was just like yapping in my ear. You don't have to do this. You don't have to go, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what, buddy? Thank you. I'm here. Yeah. I'm going to do it. And interesting enough, my first ayahuasca happened to be about my mom and my relationship with her. A lot of ancestral stuff that I worked through the first night. And when I called her the next morning, my mom being in Canada, me being here in Costa Rica, I remember she looked at me and she's like, "What is it that you're doing right now?" I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, I've been crying and purging all night." So she's like, "What is it that you're doing? Because I know it's directly connected to you." And that's when I went like, oh my God, this is how connected we are when we open up. Yeah. And I told her the truth. I said, "Don't worry. I just didn't want you to, to stress over things. This is what I'm doing. So just keep your energy to yourself and receive the healing through me." And the second night was beautiful for me. So was the first night. It wasn't difficult. It was a lot of pain that was leaving my body, a lot of sadness that was leaving my body. But I was more of an observer to it than a participant. Like, I observed all that leave. And I remember that the shaman had to perform a blessing on me because I guess I sat there and like cried for like 2 hours. And I heard him come up and just like, do his thing on me. And the second night, I remember Mama Ayahuasca just taking me and just pulling me into the jungle. And like my first reaction was like, and then I'm like, trust, you're good. And it was the first time in my life when I felt unconditional, pure love. Like it was so strong that I remember crying like in like 5 strains of tears on each side. And I was like, I can't handle it. And she's like, yes, you can. I'm like, no, I can't. And she's like, I won't give up until you do. Like, and it was such a beautiful experience. And it even that experience alone changed me forever. But it helped me understand how much deeper I can go and how much more I can change. And, you know, and that's when we really found Buffo. And, you know, Buffo to me, I love this medicine so much. And there is so much beauty and kindness and wisdom in it. I mean, even going through the darkest moments of my life, when Buffo helped me deal with immeasurable trauma that I've gone through, the love and confidence and just this like hug that I had for medicine as I'm going through it was just incredible. And what I also love about medicines, the intelligence, is they will never give you what you're not ready for. And I've realized that through the years, because I understand that if I uncovered everything I know now in the beginning, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I wouldn't know how. That's why the medicine's like, okay, so you're ready to be here. You're ready to go here. You're ready to, you know, receive this. And it, you know, gently kind of takes you through these areas. Because sometimes people ask me, they're like, well, you know, why do you do so much medicine? Like, if you say that it's, you know, 10 years of therapy in one sitting, like, why do you do more than, you know, one? Like, well, because you can't really heal yourself, your lineage, you know, your ancestral stuff through 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah.
And there are some lucky people that do get that, and that's amazing. But most of us carry so much stuff that we need to, you know, go through. And it doesn't mean that we have to go through to the same medicine all the time. You know, some people come to us and do the whole process with us, and then they go to ayahuasca and they report back that, you know, while people were purging and suffering, I went straight to the light, because through the process of, you know, clearing out with Kambo and expansion with Buffo, I didn't have to do that. I could just go straight to, you know, to source, which is beautiful. And it helps us liberate and become whole, become complete.
And instead of suffering through the ceremony, they're just sending energy and love to all these other people, and just like, oh, this person is in need, you know, and it's such a wonderful thing, because we are healing together, you know, and this is the first time when we're actually able to truly break off from the chains of oppression, of the mental suggestion that is not in our benefit, that we're able to step in our power, which is the most exciting thing for me personally. It is a wonderful gift.
I'm gonna share something with you guys because it's coming through and it's making me pretty emotional actually. Karina, you were with me at my first ayahuasca ceremony. And you guys introduced me to Sananga and Hàpe, and I'm just like right now having this huge realization of like how big of an impact you two have actually been on this journey for me. So like massive amounts of gratitude are coming through what you guys have shown me, what you've helped bring into my life, and the work that you're doing has definitely helped inspire me to come back to Canada and do not Buffo and Kambo, but to work with psilocybin. And I'm just like having this huge, like, holy crap, you guys are like such a big part of this journey. And I didn't even realize it till like right now. So I have so much gratitude for both of you. And I'm like, oh, of course, it makes sense that you're here right now in the podcast. So thank you so much. For everything.
Hug you right now.
I know, I'm like, I gotta come back and visit. Oh my goodness. but yeah, because like that, I'm pretty sure, Karina, you were like organizing it to go, right? And then you found the people, and I just happened to be one of those people. So just like a full circle of everything, and so grateful for you too. So, so grateful. Okay. So much gratitude. Okay. So if people are looking for you and they want to come and do this amazing experience that you guys have, how do they find you?
I would say the best place is get in touch with us through our website. It's pluginmind.com, plug in mind. We're also on social media on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. But I would say get in touch and have a consultation. You can either book a video call on the website, and then we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what you need and what is your idea of the best version of yourself. And then we'll see if we can help you get there. You know, it starts with a conversation, but we do want people to, there may be fear, and that's good, that's okay. But I want every person who is working with us to give a possibility that their lives can fundamentally change for the better. And now we have to create a life that is the life of your dreams. And if you're able to articulate what that life is, we're in a really good pathway, because we're going to guide you to that version of who you want to become and who you want to be. And there's so much that goes in the process, including hypnotherapy, which we can do as well. But there's so much that goes, and we have to find the right keys to the right issues with every person. So that's why it's such a personalized approach, that we will be very happy to help people who are ready and willing to step into their best versions of themselves.
And I think I also want to add, I don't think we've mentioned that our retreats are never more than 5 people.
Oh, that's good.
And intimate, because it is our duty to give each person undivided attention and love, support that they need, because it's a big transformation, it's a big process, and we pretty much on daily basis have one-on-one consultations with the people. We're always on call with them during the process of the retreat, and as I've mentioned, after. But yes, we keep them small deliberately, because it's important for us to know each person in depth, so we can, using all the techniques that we've gathered over the years, we can push the right buttons as we're working with them through medicines throughout the process, because it is very personalized to each person. The number of ceremonies that we do, the number of consultations that we do, how we do it, what are the takeaways, they really depend on each individual person that is with us, because we're so unique, all of us. So like there is no one for all approach. It can't be, because we need to see each person and their strong areas, their weak areas, and work with individuality.
If I can share one thing,
Absolutely.
got science in my past, and my mom told me before that, what are you doing? You're leaving your golden pension and your $100,000 job for what? What mean? And we did take a very drastic step, and we trusted that sometimes we just need to close a chapter, open another one if your heart is there. And I also think that when people know that they're ready for a change, and they have to take a serious step towards themselves and say no to others, these are the people that that will benefit greatly, because they're primed to start making serious changes for themselves.
Yeah. Don't get stuck in the shiny golden carrot, right? Chase your heart. That's so important. And I'm sure there's people out there who could possibly be thinking, like, maybe I do want to do that. Maybe I do want to make this big leap, and they're scared. So having that trust is so, so, so important. So thank you for that.
Being scared is so is so normal and almost expected.
Mm.
When, when I don't think I know a person that, well, I shouldn't say that there are people that are not scared, but for the most part, people are scared. And, when you have that Buffo pipe in front of you or that cup of ayahuasca in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
there is always a bit of fear that creeps up, because you never know. You're diving into unknown, you're losing control. And that is always scary for the ego, really.
Mm-hmm.
But, when the call is there, I feel that it overpowers the ego. When you know and you start inquiring, I guess what I would like to say is, throughout my journey, I realized that each and every single one of us is guided by the divine power and protected.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing to fear, because that connection is always there and it has our best interest in heart. And if we first of all, trust ourselves, that's when magic happens. Trusting ourselves, loving ourselves, and forgiving ourselves is what makes this whole experience, so transformative.
Yep. What a beautiful way to end it. I love it. Actually, I have one more question. Naming your first ceremony with one word, what would you name it for both of you?
First ceremony, like first ever
ever that you were in. If you could give it only one word, what would you give it?
I know mine.
I have a phrase.
Okay.
You go first.
Oh yeah, we gotta finish. No, you go first.
No, you go first.
Okay. Mine is love. Really. It was love. The first time I've ever experienced it.
Yeah.
Like true unconditional love.
And mine, I should probably show it. That pretty much sums it up.
They never had a fucking chance.
They didn't. No, they didn't.
That's what he said.
That's amazing.
And that's how he was known for the longest time. Niko never had a fucking chance.
So beautiful. I love it. Okay. Everything for people to get in contact with you and check you out will be in the show notes. I thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time to be on the new podcast, because now I'm realizing you guys were such a big part in this journey as well. So thank you so much for everything and for being here today.
It's good to chat and connect.
We love you.
I love you.
Love you.